Hello, everybody. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Brad Ellis.
And Diggle King.
And Michael Damiani.
How's it going?
And Brandon Jones.
All right.
Brandon, what do you got over there?
What do I got?
Yeah, what is that?
What do I got right here?
Yeah.
I have Skylanders Battlecast 22 card battle pack.
So why would you bring that to this podcast? Why would you bring some Skylanders cards here?
Because I lost a bet. I won a bet.
You won the bet.
I won this bet.
Yeah.
And because I won the bet, I give you cards.
Yeah.
Some bet.
So when these were announced, we made fun of them. The Skylanders would try a card game that was called Battlecast.
Because you have to take a picture of it to like load it up into your app.
And they say on the website, please don't take a picture of your friends' cards.
Yeah,
please don't share these pictures online. Because all you have to do to scan them into the game is you can go online and just scan them off to like a web page. But
That's
they're like,
great.
please don't share.
Welcome to the internet. That's really not going to happen.
Please don't share this with your friends. It's the funniest thing. So I said it was fail.
Actually, you'd have to be extremely gullible and dumb to actually purchase these cards.
Yeah, I said by now there'd be no way you could.
Got the right to by winning the bet.
Yeah.
I was not paying attention.
That seems like you lost, though.
Yeah.
Well, the losing aspect is I have to open that pack live. I have to open that up now.
How's that losing?
Is it a booster pack?
Here, you lost the bet. Here, open this present.
It's not a booster pack, it's a battle pack.
I would rather open that than pay for it.
Jones, the thing was I had to find booster packs. Are you telling me they don't even sell booster packs?
God,
they sell boosters, but boosters are just like 10 cards. Like boosters are like, that's the thing you add. This is a starter pack. The
bet was like if you could find a booster.
Oh man, look at this. Kyle's ready to display.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Can't we just like have a normal podcast for once?
I'm not opening a battle pack. That's 22 cards.
I'll open it.
All right, Brad's gonna open
Crack
this
it
battle
open,
pack.
Brad.
In the meantime,
Brad
we're gonna
won the
start
bets.
corrections. Begin corrections music, please. The legendary April Nintendo Direct, I called it the legendary one. That actually happened in January.
You mean the one with
remember
all
that?
the Wii U games and stuff?
Yeah. And that's why
screw that up.
it's even more shocking, is it happened in January, right after November.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere.
They hit the panic button immediately with the Wii U.
Dang.
They came out with those announcements.
Why is this in here?
Violent Ken first appeared in SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos.
Jeez.
Whoa.
So Violent Ken actually existed before. Some interesting facts about that game. That was an Xbox exclusive in the US because of Sony's game approval policy. I was reading the wiki, I couldn't quite understand it. And Violent Ken in that game at least has a different stance. Like Violent Ken in Ultra Street Fighter 2 has the exact same stance as regular Ken. In the cool SNK, sorry, Brad's chewing open the pack.
Can't get it open,
to listeners,
man.
if you wonder what that
Primal
crinkling is.
I got scissors over here, Brad.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got.
Yeah.
Jones, I like cracking packs, man. I don't like opening a predetermined set of cards.
These aren't worth that, dude.
A predetermined. You can tell me what was in that pack right now.
Spyro's gonna be in there.
You're gonna flip through that and be like,
Cinder's gonna be in there.
classic.
Hot Dog's gonna be in
Live
there.
corrections
Yeah.
in just a second.
All right, yeah. If Cinder
but the
and Hot
booster
Dog is
pack
in
for
there.
some reason would just be nothing but.
Listen to that cracking of that pack.
Yeah.
Really cool sprites in that game though.
All right.
Spyro's in. Okay,
Spyro's
now
in.
just look for Cinder and Hot Dog. Okay.
Hot Dog.
Hot Dog. Okay, so corrections are still rolling. The Splatoon weapon is neither a Roomba nor a shuffleboard disc, but a curling stone, like in curling. And it's actually named Curling Bomb. So now we know. It's officially a curling thing.
Got it.
Curling Stone. Riggs isn't a multiplayer only game. It has a single player league structure and a trials mode. And corrections music, please. Uh-oh, I don't see a Hot Dog.
You didn't get any of those stupid guys.
So wait, are like cards for moves?
Yeah.
So what is it? It's like Spyro and then just a bunch of
Tornado.
fire?
Blast a frontline enemy and another random enemy for 60 damage.
Jones, we gotta play this.
Yeah, I got two of them. I got
Okay.
one for me as well. So.
All right.
Critical care. Restore 80 health to your frontline allies.
Nice.
All right, look for more coverage on Skylanders Battlecast in the
Good.
near future.
Love cracking packs.
I love crit heals.
Here's the thing though, is Jones, I don't feel like I lost the bet totally. Like this clearly wasn't a success. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It took you this long to be able to find a holographic one.
Well, and it took me that long to bother going out and getting it. that's what it did.
The truth reveals itself.
Truth is out.
It took a long time for me to be in a motor vehicle and remember to do that.
Oh, I need Skylanders.
You know, put the seatbelt on and you're heading out to do the
forgot
things
something.
and have the
Yeah.
thought. Because I actually did have the thought to get it online, but didn't happen.
Wow.
They didn't ship it.
Bets are bets. Okay, so we all know my favorite way to start a podcast.
Game announcement.
Yeah, and we have a lot. we have a lot to discuss.
Wow.
And it didn't feel like a big news week, but actually a lot of news happened. I'm very excited to talk about each of these things. We won't do rank the significance. It's not really appropriate here, but lots of games to talk about. I'm excited. Let us lead with Fire Emblem Heroes. Now, Nintendo, when they first said we're going to do some mobile games, they started off with Miitomo, and that came out, and it was what it was. And then they said, we have 2 more coming. We're going to do actual franchises that we've already established. We're going to do an Animal Crossing game, we're going to do a Fire Emblem game. And now, last week, we've finally seen a look at what that Fire Emblem game is on mobile, what Fire Emblem looks like on mobile. It's called Fire Emblem Heroes. Who wants to take a crack at explaining this to the viewer and listener?
Not me. I'm not an expert on Fire Emblem. What you do, Damiani?
You don't have to be an expert. Damiani, what is this game? What is this mobile game? How does Fire Emblem work on a phone?
I mean, it's the same tactical RPG style of gameplay, but they're restricting it to a single screen, like a single vertical slice.
Yeah, what is the grid? 6x8.
Yeah, 6x8.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something, Kyle, that they're based on famous maps from previous games or battlefields.
That was Blood.
Yeah, Blood did
Blood?
that.
Yeah,
Blood did? Okay.
I think that might be a mode because there is an
Okay.
entirely there's a new story to this. There's
Yeah.
new characters and things.
And the I guess the hook that they're doing is that it's called Heroes. Guess
Yeah.
what? It's like all the famous like Fire Emblem characters throughout the history of Fire Emblem. And I guess how it works is you pick out your lineup to fight and stuff, but like through the course of the game you get hero gems.
Yeah.
And it's a random hero from ranked 1 to 5 star in their class 5
Summoned
being-
into our world.
Summoned, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can power if they're not like 5 star, they start 1 star, you can keep using them, powering them up. But
So if I get a hero that's not super rare, I can work it up to become a rare hero.
yeah,
If
but
I grind.
The thing is, people who are not going to want to grind or didn't get the hero that they wanted, which they made that a point in the direct. It's like, I want Lon Q. It was like, how do I want to get that? Oh, I got this silly dancer. I was like, yo, dancers let you go twice. Like, what? Do you not play Fire Emblem? I was like,
No,
come
he was
on.
right though. You can't win on dancers alone.
You can't win on them alone, but
Yeah.
I was like, you got your most powerful character there on a boss, and you two turns will kill them. And you got a dancer there. It's like, I won the game. That's what. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is where the free to play, the pay part is coming in.
This is a free to play game. We
Yeah.
should mention that.
I was gonna ask that.
you can
Yeah.
probably. I don't remember if they said it explicitly, but you're probably paying for those hero gems. If
Yes,
didn't
you can
get them.
absolutely buy hero
Yeah.
gems.
So that's where the paid thing's coming in.
You pay to draw in random
it's
heroes
a
into
random.
your
It's still
party.
random. You can't pick which one you want.
Yeah.
It's you get the chance to crack open that gem, be like, who's in there? Summon.
And here's a
It's not
nasty
Ike.
thing. Basically, the way it's kind of structured is it costs this many gems to summon one hero.
Yeah.
The next hero is slightly cheaper.
Yes. So
And then the hero after that is going to be slightly cheaper to summon. And the hero after that, so up to 5 times, it gets cheaper and cheaper
they're
and
trying
cheaper.
to like lure you in, like, oh, I didn't get that. I spent like $3.
Yeah.
This next one's only gonna be $2. Maybe.
Yeah.
Only $1 more for this next one, and like does $1 every time after.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, they
drop-
haven't done prices yet?
It
for
is
that?
devious.
They-
I think they have. I think we could have like paused and looked at the actual like
okay.
pricing structure, how much the gems cost.
But that's how they're trying to hook you in, is by
Yeah.
saying like, yeah, the first cost is gonna be a little bit more, but like you're getting a discount if you pay for more. Come
Yeah.
on, look how nice we're being by letting you buy these things for cheaper.
You don't have to spend a cent. You could completely work your way up to unlocking all of these gems. That kind of thing.
So it's not as bad as I thought could in my imagination probably could have, it turned out, but I mean it looks decent, but I'm just worried about like they showed when they were showing off the level differences and then like the whole sword axe lance thing, and the character did like the wrong attack. They attacked what they were weak against. Then they got like one shot, like wrecked. It wasn't just like you picked the wrong person to go against. Like there was a clear level discrepancy. It was like,
Yeah.
ah,
So this happens. This happens at one point. He gets his long queue.
yeah,
He brings him into battle, and he gets wrecked. And then he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, well, that's okay because there are other modes in this game where I can grind."
yes,
And so the game, in its design, encourages you to progress the story to a point where you can't anymore, and then go take these characters and grind, or buy new ones who are stronger.
don't like that.
Jones, what did you think of the presentation of this game?
The presentation of the game, meaning in the video that I saw.
Well, I mean, I think the presentation of the video is actually pretty good and clear what the actual game is. I meant of the game itself.
I think it's fine. I mean, I can tell. I've never played a Fire Emblem game, but I can tell that the battlefield is a lot smaller than in previous games. But like you're gonna have to adapt it. I think Another thing that lends it to is the battles themselves will actually be shorter, and so they'll cater to your mobile schedule a little bit easier than like a full Fire Emblem game would. I think it's a smart franchise for them to bring. I think something. I was actually a little bit more nervous about Mario Run. Of like, I don't know, but like just one finger moving it around. I thought there was gonna be lots of sliding stuff they were gonna have to do, and it was really smart that they just did tapping. Whereas this is a little more complex, but it's strategy, and I love strategy. Is one of my favorite genres in mobile. So
you're downloading?
I feel bad that this will be like my first Fire Emblem game.
I don't think so.
But
that's exactly what Nintendo wants. They want
but it kind of looks like something where it's like, oh, I can get into this and not have to, really get that wrapped up in the story because it is kind of a catch-all. Like, is there a narrative? Like, is there a...
There is.
Okay, well, that's a little different, because I play, like... I'm just about to start playing DC Legends, which is the same thing as this, which is just like, all your favorite heroes. And, like, I'm addicted to the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes thing.
Who also does the stars thing? Like, you can have a 5-star Yoda.
There's no story whatsoever to that. They, like...
Yeah. They're holograms,
very much say, like, they're holograms. You're just playing a game. So that's actually interesting. I'm curious... how complex that is, and as an outside player, how much that'll make me actually want to finish it.
Sure.
Because my finishing Galaxy of Heroes right now is just getting as many characters as I can and just being ready for the next thing they're gonna do. So if I know
the next expansion.
Well, it's like I know they're gonna do an episode 8 thing next year, so maybe I want to level Finn up and get him ready.
Yeah. February 2nd is when that comes out. I should mention on iOS and Android. I didn't even preface this by saying that there was Damiani mentioned it, a Nintendo Direct entirely focused on Fire Emblem last week. And it was like a half hour long, wasn't too long. It was great. When I said that I think they presented this well, it was super well presented. They had Yuri Lowenthal, right? The voice actor, just doing the whole thing. So instead of
that's cool.
Yeah, instead of just anyone from Nintendo introducing these things, it was like a voice actor doing a good job. And I think he was funny at points, and he sold it. He sold each of these games that we're going to talk about, and it was kind of cool for Nintendo, after we were already skeptical about the launch of the Switch, to come out and say, no, games. Games.
Yeah.
Games. Let me talk about some more. Well, at the end of that, or no, like in the middle, a Fire Emblem game was announced for the Switch in 2018. So, hey, we're going to announce some little games here. We're going to announce some in-betweeners. The big Fire Emblem game is coming in 2018, was announced during this Direct.
New generic Fire Emblem logo.
Yeah.
The logo itself is not generic, but the one they use now when they don't have a final logo and or title.
Just the font.
Fire Emblem coming to Switch 2018.
Yeah.
Will there be multiple or different versions of it?
Good thought, Brad. I'm going to say no. I don't think they'll go back to the old Fates trick with the Switch version.
Yeah, they said it's and they also branded it as the first time Fire Emblem is coming back to consoles.
Since what? Since that GameCube game? There was a Wii one, wasn't there?
Wait, am I getting this one or the remake one wrong? Anyway,
remake one's Gaiden, right?
Whichever the one's coming out on Switch first, that's a standalone Fire Emblem game. It's the first one since Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, which Radiant Dawn was on Wii last.
Got it.
So that was the last one.
It's been a while since there's a Fire Emblem game.
I forget it was for this new Switch one, or it was for another one I think you're going to talk about later, another Fire Emblem.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about that because there isn't much to say. I just think Nintendo made a point to say there's a game in 2018.
Yeah.
You won't see it soon, but there's a Fire Emblem coming to the Switch. The Switch is going to be the place where Fire Emblem games go to.
It was just a good thing because Fire Emblem, Nintendo's treated it better ever since I think it started.
Started with Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh, I'm gonna say
seed.
When they chose to bring Shadow Dragon out on DS, the DS ones.
Sure.
I was like, wow, they're really gonna bring that over here because there was a habit of them not bringing over some of the GBA ones. Like here's one or two, but there's all these other ones you're not getting. And then,
but before GBA was nothing.
Oh yeah,
that's what Melee was cool. It's like, hey, who's Marth?
But
here's Marth in a game.
They're treating Fire Emblem like this with its own Direct.
Yeah,
and it's just Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's I like Fire Emblem. I think it's a big series to me, but it's not the biggest series in the world. So they're giving it this much time and dedication. It's like they must have other stuff planned and stuff. They're talking about Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem in 2018, a whole one. And this is just Fire Emblem, guys. Wait till ETH. Gave me, this Direct gave me a little bit more hope after kind of the negativity that came out of the Switch event in January. Everyone was like, where are the games and stuff? The conference wasn't that good. And press conference, we gave it all bad ranking and stuff. But when I went back and thought about the announcement, they don't have the third party announcements there, but first party stuff's great. And this Fire Emblem stuff was it would have been nice to have it there.
That's
but
true.
Doing these directs is their style. People just got to know that.
February is going to have an F-Zero event. Don't worry about it. It's coming. I can just announce it for you now. There's going to be an F-Zero event. And they're just going to announce all their F-Zero
guy.
games.
He's adorable, though. Look how cute he is.
So let's talk about another
F-Zero
new
hope.
game that was announced in this direct. Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia.
What?
It's a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden. It's a 3DS game.
Oh,
And Fire Emblem Gaiden was a Famicom game. Never made it to the US.
wow, really?
Yep. So they're using the kind of story and some of the aspects like you, as opposed to regular Fire Emblem games, which is turn-based battles. There's like dungeon crawling in this Fire Emblem game,
Oh.
and like really cool like kind of free roaming aspects of the map, things that you couldn't do in a typical Fire Emblem game. And they're bringing that to 3DS. I think the real shocker here is the date. May 19th.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's soon.
So that's like 4 months from announcement to release.
That's really cool. I love when
pretty
companies
tight.
do that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And it's cool to see them supporting the 3DS with a new game so shortly after the Switch is released. So it's cool.
Yeah, I just wonder how long that'll last.
We think a year, Brad. What do you think?
About a year sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to focus on Switch. They
So
have to.
Damiani, you like Fire Emblem. Do you like this game? Do you like what you saw in this game announcement?
Yeah, them bringing out any of the ones that haven't come out here officially is great.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're doing it as like a full blown remake.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, we're just gonna port the latest effort, and like they could just like port it in like, here's it on Virtual Console. It'll be on Switch Virtual Console. Here you go, like Earthbound. Like here's Earthbound
That's
and stuff.
sweet, man.
right
They're
here.
just giving you more
Anything's
games, man.
good, but yeah, like just
Feels good, man.
they are putting a lot of they're putting a lot of effort into Fire Emblem stuff, and it's
Yes.
making me happy.
Me too.
So like I cannot wait to see that Switch one. I know we're going back to the Switch one real quick, but then they show that one off a console, and I'm like, yeah.
I mean, what's cool? I mean, this Valentia thing is like there's a ton of effort behind it. I'm actually more excited about Valentia than I was for Fates.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not a filler sequel. It looks like they're not being lazy with this remake. They're putting a lot of effort into it, and they're treating that old game with respect. They're like, hey, we actually like the story that was told in an old Famicom game. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like that. It shows a lot of like effort on that. So I did kind of have a little bit of a slight bias against Fate's Conquest and that, and the one that just came out, the
Yeah.
most recent one after Awakening. It's like, man, they're just trying to cash in so quickly after Awakening, and look at making 2 versions, and then there's a third.
Three versions,
Yeah,
yeah.
3 versions.
Ugh.
All that stuff just kind of turned me off.
Me too.
It might have been great. I still haven't touched it to this day.
Apparently it is
I
great.
own it. I have the whole box set and everything.
You guys haven't played them?
No,
I played Awakening. That just turned me off. I was like,
I'm same boat with
conceptually,
Tommy.
it was-
We're
I
in
was
the
not-
same boat right now.
I was not very like that.
But you love Pokemon, and there's 2 versions every time.
and I love Fire Emblem.
Oh, I don't, because I used to have to review Pokemon, and I was like, I don't want 2 versions. Why are there 2 versions? It's stupid.
Yeah.
All I cared about for the troll version, but Fire Emblem, like, this is great they're doing this, but again, the console version, just because there's so many.
Go back to the console
Sorry, because
again.
they did
All
so
right.
many things in the console version that they haven't done in the handheld one since.
What?
Like the use of geography and stuff, like the battle environments were way more complex and stuff.
Okay.
Than in
You're
the,
talking about like the Wii and GameCube games.
Yes. I want to see them go more in that direction again. Like
They're
that's
gonna go nuts down
that's my
there.
hope. Like I want to
Yeah.
see like giant like castles and stuff, yes. Like that's what I want to say. I don't want just
Yep.
like the flat. There's just some obstacles in the way. Like they're good. The handheld ones are always like really good, but there's a further layer of depth that they go into that they did dig into with the console versions.
And finally, in that Nintendo Direct, we kind of predicted this would happen. They didn't talk about Fire Emblem Warriors a lot, but we did see gameplay.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
which the tease in the Switch thing kind of ended with like, look at a character model and close up. We got to see some gameplay of it. What was your impression of this? The way that Fire Emblem Warriors looks.
I mean, just looked like, hey, it's Hyrule Warriors, but they're gonna make it with Fire Emblem. Like,
Yeah. That's kind of what it looks like.
better. Looked a little bit better.
It looked a little bit
A little
better.
bit better,
They're kind
and-
of outlining the character models with a thin black line.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't look great, and I can kind of see why they kept it out of the Switch
Oh no!
presentation, to be honest
It
with you.
doesn't. It does not look stellar.
Yeah.
and it looks like it doesn't have to be on the is this really even texting the Switch, which is
Right.
supposedly powerful? But I mean, yeah, it'll be nice, especially because of the maps and stuff. Like they might be able to do cool things with that. Plus, I don't know, it'd be cool to see. That's one of the things with Fire Emblem. Like you see the 3D battle animations like in the SRPG.
Yeah.
But for me, I kind of turn those off after a while. It's like I don't have 10 hours to get
Right.
through like this one battle.
I never turn them off. I like them so. They're so well
They're
animated.
probably so cool, dude.
They're
so
cool,
well
but after a
animated.
point, like I've seen Ike do Ether like 30 times. Like, Ether. She's like, all right, it's cool, but
Never
I
wears off.
Don't need to see it. It's gonna be seeing this in full 3D now. Like doing like you could be like, yeah,
Yeah.
It'll get boring after a while, but it'll be nice to see it like fully realized in a giant 3D.
It'll never get boring because we'll be changing classes so much. So there'll be a new class with new attacks.
I want to see how they do promotions in that game.
Yeah.
Like when you start as like warrior, you get promoted like
Fighter.
fighter. Whatever.
Jones, promotions are basically like evolutions. Like your class starts
Okay.
off looking like this, and then you have a path of which way you want to promote the character class, and then they evolve, and their armor turns into cool things, and they have new moves and attacks.
I love stuff
like,
like
I
that.
think
It's
it was
really
like
cool
Ranger
stuff.
and it became Lord.
Yes.
Whoa, Ranger Lord?
What? And then you level that up, and then you demote them, and then they retain some of their old abilities, so they can promote them again.
You
It's
can be
cool.
like a mounted like lance person, and when you get promoted, you become like a knight.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can also get like if you were a spear person, you can also now use a sword. You can pick one of another weapon, so you can use a sword and axe in addition to your spear.
It's like walking into a rock paper scissors match with two hands.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's good.
With 2 hands.
Okay, so that's basically everything that was in the Fire Emblem. Oh, also, Fire Emblem Heroes is coming to new 3DS. Sorry, what's up, Jones?
What's funny? It's kind of like getting kids to eat
Warriors, Fire
vegetables.
Emblem Warriors. Sorry, go ahead.
Like Fire Emblem Warriors, I feel is kind of like a plate of broccoli, like whether you like broccoli or not. And like if you'd like given it to the Nintendo fans, like at the Switch reveal, it'd be like it just wouldn't have fit. But if you like slip it in your kid's lunch, like then they're at the cafeteria the next day, and all right, I'll eat my broccoli.
Yeah.
Like you hold it on, you let people wait. They hunger for that gameplay. It's like, I know it's gonna look exactly like Hyrule Warriors, but I'm just curious about it.
Yeah,
and then
it's a
you
good point,
give the
Jones.
details later. You see the gameplay later. You turn something that could be not exciting into excitement.
Because I think
Just
that
by delay.
I think after the Switch event, a lot of us were asking, like, is that it, or is that all they chose to show? And right now we have a little more evidence that it was all they chose to show, as opposed to
Yeah.
that was it. And so maybe you're right. Maybe
And and it also raises questions about like, ooh, that No More Heroes 3, or like, is there other stuff that we haven't seen? Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing.
If you're skeptical,
Switch.
yeah.
Let's go.
Animal Crossing's obviously in development.
I
They're
need it.
obviously, yeah, exactly.
But I need a real one,
I know.
man.
Why
Not
a
Amiibo
cool-
Festival.
Why not a cool little trailer? Why not show it? What was wrong with that? Okay, just want to make that
gotta
clear
wait.
because I did say it wrong.
You gotta wait for some random day in April, and then you do it.
Fire Emblem Warriors is the one coming to new 3DS as well.
It's only new 3DS, or is it Switch also?
Both.
Switch also. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kind of like how Hyrule Warriors had a 3DS version.
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
Kind of stinky. Oh, the thing though is that it'll be new only. You will not be
Yeah.
able to do
Yeah, they're doing that
Fire
now.
Emblem
Okay.
Warriors on the old
Got
3DS.
the old 3DS now.
Cool. We have a couple more game announcements. Man,
All right.
what a fun week. Banner Saga 3 kicked off a Kickstarter this week.
Wow.
Developer Stoic is doing that. The big significance behind that is that Banner Saga 1 was a Kickstarter project, hugely successful, made way more money than they ever imagined. Banner Saga 2, we got this. Don't worry, we don't need a Kickstarter for this. And now for Banner Saga 3, Kickstarter again.
No, just kidding.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, that's cool. It's way cool. One thing, like, my takeaway is it makes me scared for game designers. You want them to have 2 successful games and just be set. Like, oh, you should be able to make all the games you want now, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we still need more. We even they have a publisher lined up, and they said in their video, we need more funding to really make this as big as we want it to be and have all these animations and cutscenes and things like that, music, and so it's expensive. Game development is expensive, and it bums me out that they're not hugely successful where they could buy their own studio and live there and things like that. I guess.
Well, I think they said it like they wanted more freedom with designing it because probably they worked it too with someone else.
Oh, a publisher,
Probably
you
have as
mean?
much
It's just
freedom
like,
as they wanted,
I
kind
know
of
what you're
thing.
saying. Yeah.
So they probably that's probably a big factor for it. They're probably like, oh man, we really want to control this again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope it does good. Those
You're
are
right,
good
Brad.
games.
I didn't even think about that. That is another factor. When people are just crowdfunding you can do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah. What was it 200,000? I think.
That
that's
they
how much
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they were all at 50 when I checked it this morning.
Yeah.
They're on their way.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll hit it. People love that game, or those games, I should say.
I'm sure they want more than 200K. I think you just
Well, of
start
course,
there.
yeah.
Weird strategies.
Yeah, of course.
It's cool though. It didn't honestly look very different from the Banner Saga 1 and 2. It looks like they want to make it a trilogy. It looks like they just want to end it with this one in a big way. And if you want to support that, check that out. Check out Banner Saga 3. Last game announcement I'm pretty excited about. This is a really weird one. Cars 3. Now normally, okay, yeah, exactly. You'd be like, why are you bringing up Cars 3 on this podcast? I'm skipping. I'm fast forwarding. Why would you bring up that's a big deal? Okay, so this is why Cars 3 is a big deal.
Tell me.
The developer of Cars 3. Let me start with the publisher. The publisher is Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment.
Okay.
That's WB
Yeah.
making
it's
a
weird.
Disney game.
Yeah, how does that... What?
Somebody's got to.
Yep, somebody's got to, I guess. So yeah, exactly, John. There's no more Disney Interactive. So
Spiteful comment right there.
to make this game, to make Cars 3, a Disney franchise, a Pixar franchise, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment revived Avalanche Studios, the developers of Disney
That's
Infinity.
crazy.
Just brought back their CEO. You're the head of your old. I should get his name.
Blackburn?
Yeah, Blackburn, John Blackburn.
Good Blackburn.
Yeah,
He got his job
Jones
back.
knows him. Yeah,
Yeah, Jones got
It's
the
like-
scoops.
yeah.
Johnny
Warner Brothers
Blackburn,
comes in and
good
it's just
job,
like,
John.
hey, do you want to just have that studio back? He's like, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Please?
Warner Brothers like, sure. All of you keep your jobs. I'm not positively not all of you, but yeah. So this is so weird. So in conjunction with Pixar Animation and DCPIM, which is our new Disney Interactive, that's Disney Consumer Products and Interactive Media. That might be an acronym I gotta learn.
What was the name of that crazy Microsoft division that they have? That was like electronics and fun things.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Like,
I forgot
they,
about that.
Like
That's-
changed their name and they're
Yeah.
like,
Electronics
we don't call it
and
games
fun
division
things.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what that is.
Well, I think it was like 2 different Disney departments that got merged, actually.
Disney Consumer Products and Interactive Media.
There was a consumer products department.
Sure, obviously there was, and now the interactive media is pulled in. So WBIE is somehow making a game in conjunction with Disney. It's Cars 3, and they brought back Avalanche Studios.
Yeah.
Jones, how did this happen?
how does Warner Brothers get involved? I don't know.
I'm
I have
baffled
an
by
idea.
this.
I have an
How
idea.
did- yeah.
Disney's like pitching their IPs around, I think, a lot more now to other outside studios.
Yeah.
Like they did it with Spider-Man and Insomniac.
Yeah, I mean that's
They're
what they
just
said.
they're shopping their IPs around.
Yeah,
And seeing what companies come up with.
and I'm shocked Warner Brothers said to us. Maybe it's because they done so much Lego
Money.
stuff. Yeah, they love
Yeah,
they
money.
love
Licensing,
licensing stuff.
maybe.
But the thing is, like,
Money.
Warner Brothers is in with Lego. When they do a Lego movie, that's all WB money. They're like,
Right.
yeah, make that money.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, what are you doing with Disney?
Making money. That's what they're doing.
I guess, yeah.
And if
yeah.
you said Disney
Yeah.
pie,
Disney cash.
It's weird. It's weird because they seem to be rivals, you know? It's like that whole thing when, Jones, you're telling me about how, like, in Roger Rabbit, that Mickey's got to be on the same time as Bugs Bunny. Like, they have to share screen time, equal frames.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're old rivals. And it's just so weird to see them like, yeah, let's make Cars 3. Let's do it.
what if like this could be a goodwill thing as well? If WB, I mean they want money, but they do a good job with this and does well, it opens the door to Disney's like, hey, here's another property of ours. Little like Cars is huge property,
Yeah.
but like, hey, maybe we want to make more games for Star Wars or Marvel. Warner Brothers, would you like to take a crack at this or something?
Yeah.
Like, would you, hey, Rocksteady, instead of making, Batman games, would you like to make a Wolverine game or something?
Just the crazy thing about that, Damiani, is yes, obviously, I think Rockstar would love to make a Wolverine game.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady would love to make a Wolverine game. The weird thing is, though, WB can kind of manage the costs of a Batman game because it promotes Batman, and WB makes more money off Batman. If Batman's a huge success amongst teenagers, it just makes more money for them coming in. If they start doing stuff for Disney, they get no benefits from that, and that's what's so weird to me.
Yeah, like I get the downside is like you're actively, while you're making money off of that, you're still promoting the competition.
Yeah.
But if it's such huge properties, like that's kind of hard to say no to as well. Like you have your brand associated, like Warner Bros. Being associated now with like Marvel, and Star Wars, Disney stuff. Like that's it. It's like their exposure. Like they're making money, and then like if it leads to more games and stuff, people like start associating. Oh, Warner Bros. Interactive, yeah, they guys make all the Disney games and stuff, and like Disney can't say that anymore. Like we
Yeah.
don't make the Disney games.
Yeah.
Like
Looks good on that
we're the
portfolio.
IP owner, but like we don't like Warner Bros. Are the big shots. Like they're the ones going to the panels. They're the developers getting all the interviews on Kotaku and stuff. They're like, you're the people we want to talk to and stuff. I don't know. Like I think that's what they're looking at the bigger picture. But this is maybe this them dipping their toes in the water. Like let's see how this goes. Let's try this one
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Cars. See how it goes. Works out. Maybe we go from there.
Because here's the thing, Brad says, like, make that money. I think this game will be good, and I think it will sell like crazy.
Oh,
Cars
Cars game?
3?
Oh, yeah, it could definitely sell like crazy.
I wonder how long it's been in development. I mean, Cars is coming out this summer, I think. I don't know if they'll make that.
Do you think it'll have to be like a super like kid-friendly game, I guess, then, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
a Disney
maybe.
Infinity.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna
will,
be,
like,
it's
I'm
gonna
just
be a
trying to
good
think
game.
like how simple it'll be, like, and what they'll put it on and everything like
Yeah,
that.
Jones, I mean, you're very familiar with what the studios put out. Do you think they can make
Right.
a good Cars game?
Well, Toy Story 3 was the last non-Infinity thing.
And I love that
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
I love Toy Story 3.
So imagine, if you could customize your own cars, if you could visit all of the worlds that were on all of the different Cars movies, It's not just 3. You know, you can actually go back and like go to Radiator Springs and
Yeah, because I hate the
Break some more
Cars
stuff.
movies. I'm stoked about this game. I despise those movies.
You love Mater. Don't lie to me.
Hate me.
Mater.
Oh my god, we didn't roll for the prove it ticket.
Oh, let's roll.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what kind of host?
I was about to like, do I have the prove it ticket? Can I use this? All right, so Damiani, you win the prove it ticket.
What level is it?
Prove it level 2.
Oh.
So not only do you have prove it, you also have take it back.
I don't know.
Take it back.
when you gave me the look, the aside, I thought that was like a prove it check. You were like, should I prove it, Jones? But no.
Yeah. Oh man, I
But
would have used it like
he willed
3
it
times
into his
already.
hands.
Okay, so yeah, I want to do one more quick little segment, and this is just something that popped up. Actually, we'll save that for after the break. Let's do this little thing. As well as those game announcements, we had some bundle announcements. Normally, I don't really cover bundle announcements, but I thought it might be interesting to just toss these out and see cover it quickly. So, Xbox One S has 2 new bundles: Halo Wars 2 and Forza.
Nice.
They've corrected me in the chat in the comments.
Forza,
like pizza. They say.
Yeah.
Forza like pizza. Forza Horizon 2, 2 bundles for that, the 500 gigs and the 1 terabytes. So if you want 1 terabyte bundle, that's going to be $350. If you want that 500, if you're cool with that, that's $300, which I'm cool with. I would much rather do that, to be honest with you. So that's kind of interesting. Those are the new games that come with Xbox One S, basically. That's going forward with, I guess, until summer, probably.
Yeah.
Those are the games that you're looking at buying an Xbox One with.
Halo War is really an RTS.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's pretty bold, I feel like. But you know, they're a smart company, so
Yeah.
maybe. I think Forza's a good.
Forza's the
pick.
one.
Yeah,
Forza's
it's a
the one
great
that
pick,
everybody
yeah.
loved. It's the one Xbox exclusive that sold really well and got great reviews.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think that's cool.
DLC's been great.
Yeah.
So you can get in later and get a discount on the whole package.
I feel like Scorpio, whatever, probably won't even be out this year, so I think it's a little ways off.
Wait,
still.
what, Brad? Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Now we
What?
got to start a Scorpio
Did you see
conversation.
that,
I wish you
did
didn't
see
start
that
that.
Phil Spencer tweet?
Oh,
he
no.
he just said I played my first Scorpio.
Yeah. It could
Just
still come out
now.
this year. Yeah.
It's January.
I'm just saying, man.
We didn't see PS4 Pro until September, and then it came
I
out in
know.
November.
I'm just saying, man. It could easily not come out this year.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay.
I don't even want to start talking Scorpio. There's a lot of. There was a leak from.
Well, too late. We're doing it now.
Yeah, because I always feel responsible, like once it comes up, to kind of like give it lip service.
Well, we'll just
Digital Foundry caught, I guess, a fact sheet that was released after E3 of 2016, detailing the Scorpio specs, and they were what they were. I don't know if those are still what it is, and that's why I didn't really want to cover it too much this week.
Sure.
Yeah, and Phil Spencer's been tweeting a lot about that thing. Yeah, I think it's coming along. Brad, it's definitely coming out this year.
Just want to know its real
I mean,
final
I'm
name.
fine if it comes out this year. I don't
Final
care.
name?
Just want to know the real final name.
Oh yeah.
That's really going to determine how well it
Xbox
sells.
what?
They need that name.
It's not Scorpio.
Xbox 2.
We'll even have an Xbox in the title.
Oh, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Something.
Bold
I'd be
Bossman there.
surprised.
No.
It does not.
Honestly, I think it'll be called Xbox One something. We'll have those debates way later, but I think actually
One Plus.
Xbox Windows.
Xbox
no.
Windows, get out of
Xbox
here.
Windows.
The other cool thing that was announced, and why am I covering this? Because I think it's slightly interesting. A new model of the new 3DS XL that is modeled after Pikachu, as well as, I guess, the information Blood said it's tied in, that the 3DS, 3DS family, just had its best-selling quarter of its entire life.
Pokemon, man.
We sold more. Yeah, exactly. I think it's hugely the Pokemon,
Pokemon, yeah.
effect.
Humongous.
Because I guess that was like one of the best-selling Pokemon games in that time span. Crazy, up against like Red and Blue probably. So yeah, I guess the 3DS is doing very well right now, better than Nintendo I think expected it to. I think it expected this to peter off as well, and going into the Switch. And so it is weird we say the 3DS has one more year, despite the fact that it's peaking right now. It's still accelerating. That is crazy. And I guess it's crazy they put out this new model of it to continue supporting the 3DS, despite marketing the Switch as a mobile platform.
Yeah. They have such a huge install base already, so why not put stuff on it?
But yeah, and that's the thing is they're selling. It's like, I guess we gotta keep selling these things. We're making money off them. Why not keep doing it? Here, have a Pikachu version, everybody.
Yeah.
As Damiani says, Pokemon sold huge in the fall. Let's do more. Crazy. Sun and Moon's a really good game. I honestly think that Pokemon Go helped it out a ton.
People,
yeah.
people
Oh
had the
my
fever.
God.
Yeah.
So many new people, and I wonder. I don't know if this just worked out that way, but I feel that there's a lot of ties in Pokemon Sun and Moon to Red, to the beginnings of that franchise.
Yeah.
It's a perfect, from what I can tell, it's one of the best recent Pokemon games for completely new players to just like jump into.
Yeah.
It seems very welcoming as a game. It's not kind of like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
that
not
crazy thing that went down in
MOBA.
X and Y. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're on vacation, Pokemon, go get them.
Did you say like a MOBA? Would you say down
Oh, the island region.
Aloha?
Alola.
It's like,
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah, Alola,
Welcome
everybody.
to Alola.
Welcome. Come on, we're so inviting here.
But I just wonder if that was intentional. If they knew Go was coming and Go was going to be big, it's like
They did not know it'd be as big as it was.
Let's do what
There's
we
no
can
way.
to make this a very welcoming Pokemon game, because
Yeah.
we'll have a bunch of people that are like, okay, well now I know what a Diglett is, so I should probably play this other game.
And it was one of the best-selling games of the year. If you combine them, just
Yeah.
sold
Huge
better than
install
most other
base,
games.
dude.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy, crazy,
Big fan
crazy.
base too.
Yeah, the fan base is growing. For a Pokemon to be like growing as this late in the franchise, still to be like
I think a lot of the fan
accumulating
base
is
hasn't
cool.
left it yet, though. Still, that started with it. I
Yeah.
think they're still around.
Yeah.
Like you're still there, dude.
I'm still there.
Still
If
there,
they get
man.
on Switch, get even bigger.
Oh my god,
I'm in for reals if it's on Switch.
Pokemon Stars, please be real.
That's just what I've wanted since Game Boy.
We didn't do a thing where we went through all the rumors that we did. I just can't wait for the Switch and like cross them all off because I
Yeah.
still believe in all of them. I still believe that Rabbids game is coming. I want to believe in
I
it.
believe that's coming too, dude. I believe it.
Did y'all hear that? Mm-hmm. What? Sounds like it's podcast halftime.
Oh man.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of January. Michael Kozachenko, who you can find at Misha Koz. Mango. Simon Anderson. iKeyless. Need a new car key or remote? iKeyless.com has been in the key replacement business since 2002. Check them out today and they can help save you up to 75% off of the dealership's prices. If you type in offer code EZA at checkout, you'll get 15% off of your order. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Sweet Justice, a sound design company based in England that's worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, and Call of Duty. You can see their work and hear their work at www.sweetjustice.audio. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sponsors. I was just thinking about Scorn. Scorn's been here from the beginning.
Yeah.
I know.
And what's cool about
Scorn's an
Scorn
institution.
is Scorn doesn't put out a lot of trailers, but we talk about Scorn weekly on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's like,
We watched one. I remember
yeah,
that was awesome.
it's freaky game.
Well, I like that idea. I like us starting this new venture and then almost immediately, buddying up with, this developer that is making this really interesting game, but it might not be. Trying to find a parallel here. We're also very interesting. We're also trying to find an audience.
Yeah, exactly. We're starting off together. Right. Scorn doesn't have a fan base like Pokemon does.
Yeah. It's funny too because like what we do all the time is debate. We rank the significance of this industry. We debate like what's more important, one thing or the other. And I love just being like, oh no, Scorn, of course, the Scorn is awesome. There's no question. Like I could just put that one game into a totally separate category of just constantly thumbs up.
Somber.
Knowing
tapestries.
I'm not not going to score it, not going to review it, not going to do anything official because they are a sponsor. So.
Oh yeah. You're right. We
Just gonna
haven't
say to
said that
everybody
in a
that
long time.
I love horror and that game looks freaky as hell.
Yep. We'll never review the game. Sorry, Scorn.
Play
Okay, so I wanted to, before we do Love and Respect, I wanted to cover one more thing that's pretty interesting to me.
All right.
Basically, earlier this week, Tekken 7 announced its release date, which is June 2nd, much later than anyone anticipated because earlier they said early 2017. And then we have Injustice 2's release date is May 16th.
Oh, okay.
So there's two huge,
Fighting
big
games,
budget
yeah.
fighting games coming out a month apart.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting to me because for a few reasons. One, we don't get a lot of big budget fighting games. This is a franchise that's had a hard time over the past few years, I would say. Street Fighter 4, I think, revitalized fighting games. I think they were kind of like sinking before then. And I think another
like a
revitalization
mainstream, I think so, for sure.
was Mortal Kombat 9. Another huge
Yep.
comeback
Yep.
for that franchise, definitely, and which was weird because it was kind of moving off the momentum of Mortal Kombat versus DC. But Mortal Kombat X sold like crazy last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of at this phase where Street Fighter V did not have a huge launch last year. Street Fighter V didn't sell like crazy last year. I think these two games might sell better. They certainly appear to have bigger budgets.
Is Tekken on Xbox?
Yep.
Whole nother console right there, dude.
Yeah.
Whole nother install base. That always helps.
And also Tekken will be on PC too.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Though I guess Street Fighter V was also on PC, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. I just wanted to kind of look at those two games against each other and against video games in general. Is it weird that we have that two of the bigger budget launches of those 2 months will be fighting games? Why not, Damiani?
I mean, I don't see. I think they're far enough apart. I think they're different enough audiences for those two games that they'll be fine. I also think the timing of those is they needed to get both those out because of Evo in July for their like big fighting game debut. So Tekken probably looked at it, and I know they said earlier they're probably like, hey, like we need to get this out, and we need to give it enough time so people can get competitive. Well, sorry, it's already you can already play it. It's a console version.
Right, it was at Evo last year.
Yeah,
actually.
like it's still But for like Injustice, it's like, hey, we got to get this out with some time, so people can play it. And it's like May. That's good enough. That's like 2 months because they've done it before. Because like they've done updates to games, like new versions have come out only a few months before Evo's major fighting game tournament, and they've made the announcement, hey, all the new stuff. This is the version we're using at Evo, so you better get used to it. I think it kind of drives that frenzy. It's kind of like fighting game people view it as, oh, this is like it's not the official road to Evo because it's the name of a tournament stuff, but like it's on the way leading to Evo. So to like, it feeds that craze of we got a new fighting game, we got to dig into it and stuff. We got to like look at everything. We got to get ready and stuff. I think, and then it energizes the FGC around it, which might get it more traction within mainstream because it's popping up in stories and stuff saying like, oh, they're talking about this game,
Yeah.
But especially Injustice, I think Injustice will be fine. It actually doesn't need that. I think Tekken might need that a little bit more just because it's coming out later.
Yeah.
But Injustice is going to be big.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'll be fine, like on its own, regardless of anything I just said about FGC stuff. Like, and May is a good time. Like, May is usually used to be viewed as like a big month for games like coming out, because summer is usually like summer drought, and then like May is the big release before the drought, and then you have the holiday releases.
Oh, I think it's a great time for both of them.
Yeah.
What's weird about what you touched on with Evo though is because the people competing, I would say, are hardcore. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They're a small percentage of the people who buy it, but I think Evo is becoming so huge that as a spectator sport, a spectator game, a lot of people are watching it just casually.
That's the point I was trying to make. Like, I get that like the people actually participating in it, they're awesome, but they're a small portion of like the sales that these companies are hoping for.
Yeah.
But it's the exposure and it's the frenzy around it that it's going to get picked up, and the exposure is going to get on that stream when it's at Evo. This is insane. So of course they want to time it as close to that release.
Was Injustice 2 going to be there? Was that announced?
I saw we were literally just looking at the lineup. I apologize.
Yeah.
I don't want to say yes, no, because I don't have to make a correction. But
Okay.
I know Mortal Kombat's not, because XL's on the vote one. I don't remember if Injustice 2 is on there or not. Of the 8 other games on there.
Yeah.
I want to say yes. I know Tekken 7 is 100% on there.
Tekken 7's on there.
Both Smash Brothers, but I'd have to
Street Fighter.
I'd have to-
Killer Instinct is not on there either.
Killer Instinct's not on there. It's Street Fighter 5. It's Guilty. It's one Guilty Gear. It's one Blaze Blue. 2 Smash Brothers.
Gotta have them both.
Tekken.
Yep.
Crap. It might. I think
It might be on it.
Because usually the big.
Damiani, could you look it up?
Yeah,
Would
I'll
you be
look it
able
up.
to do that? I think
Usually
that's
they're
important
big.
to know.
Yeah, like their big release each time is usually at Evo. They get the 1 year there at the very least. And
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, Injustice has been before, and Mortal Kombat has definitely been there before. So I'm sorry, I just didn't memorize all freaking.
So Jones, when you look at big budget games and the money that developers spend on games and publishers spend on games, I would think that fighting games are a little risky. And so to me, it's really encouraging to see these two games treated as tentpole releases. What do you think is are they viable as big budget games, as big selling games? I mean, I guess Mortal Kombat X did it.
Yes.
What makes it work? What makes that work?
It's really hard for me to have a frame of reference on Tekken. Like, I don't know what, especially because it's not as easy as following a Tekken 1, 2, 3. There's tag
It's like
tournament.
Tekken 1, it's okay.
Right.
Tekken 2, great. Tekken 3, best selling, and then brrr.
Wasn't like Tag Tournament or Revolution? Wasn't that like one of the best in the series? Like, when
Tag
that
Tournament's a
came-
good one, and Tag Tournament 2 a lot of people like.
Right.
And yeah, obviously when I say brrr, it's not like they all sucked, but
So
sales-wise.
just like the idea of like why would you bring Tekken back now? Why is this the year for Tekken? Whereas something like an Injustice, it's like I just see DC being really desperate. Like we're about to make a Justice League movie. We're about to introduce all sorts of other. We tried and failed a Suicide Squad. Like we're testing the waters. We want to match Marvel with let's get some TV shows and some animated series and some regular live action primetime TV shows around as many characters as we possibly can. This is another opportunity to introduce more people to those characters.
Sure.
Remind people like what Wonder Woman looks like, stuff like that.
you
Yeah,
got?
and Injustice 2 is a part of the official lineup for Evo.
Nice.
And King of Fighters 14.
Oh, I forgot all about it. Nice.
14
nice.
was the one I was
Awesome.
forgetting. Sorry.
Okay.
I like that game.
Yes.
So I can still get to
Injustice 2
Evo.
is there. So the whole
Okay.
argument I was making, like, yes, it's going to get that exposure and stuff.
Feels
Yeah,
good,
which is
man.
huge.
The fighting games are like still alive and kicking. I like that.
Yeah, I love Evo. There's not a lot of events like it
No.
that are as huge as it is, that cover as many games as it does. It's really cool. It's really just a blast to watch, and I love the production behind it all. Okay, before we move on, well, actually, Brad, I don't know if I really got your gauge on this. Do you think either of those games will fail the way that Street Fighter V? I don't want to say it failed, but
I think their expectations, especially for Tekken, will be tempered. I would say more than Street Fighter.
okay.
Because they probably saw the success of 4. They're like, yeah, we're Street Fighter. We are fighting games kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like didn't perform as well as they were probably hoping.
Yeah.
But like Tekken, I think Tekken knows what it is and like expects what to sell. I'm sure Injustice will do great. Characters everyone knows. Huge IP. The last one did great. So I'm sure they're expecting that to do just fine.
Can I toss out a theory?
Yes.
Here we go. Mortal Kombat X did sell great.
Yep.
People liked it, despite it had some nasty
sure.
pay for a fatality things like that you could do.
Right,
They were
yeah.
optional, of course. But I think that there was just so much stuff in Mortal Kombat X that people really like buying
Story
it.
mode.
There you go.
Story mode is
Story.
huge.
I think the
That's-
story mode in Street Fighter
yeah.
hurt it.
Yep.
It hurt it bad.
Well,
And it didn't come till way later.
I
right.
mean, not having it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
there you go. Like you keep going to Street Fighter 5. I'm assuming in a previous podcast you talked about like 5 just launched incomplete. It was rushed
Like
out.
personally, for
Yeah.
me, it hurt the game for me.
Yeah.
I barely played that game.
Right.
I bought it and I played like a couple rounds. I was like, all right, I'm done.
You didn't download the story mode when it came out?
No,
and play
I
the
haven't
story?
played it since.
Wow. Yeah.
I was just like, eh.
Absolutely. And right, Tekken 7 was supposed to come out soon. It was my Pop-Tart for the first 3 months of the year. Didn't make it. My Pop-Tart got cold. But the reason I think it's delayed is so it doesn't feel like Street Fighter 5 when it
Yeah,
launches.
I think they
so it is
watched
complete.
that
So
and
the
they were
entire
like, yeah.
story's ready to go. It's like
It's smart. It'd be a smart thing to do.
yeah. I'm actually really excited about both of these games because of their weird story modes, and I think that
And they're
does
so different,
give
too,
it that
which is
mass
great.
market appeal.
They're
Yeah.
completely different fighting games.
Well,
Yeah.
and Mortal Kombat and Injustice both had a very what felt like a very deliberate DLC plan. That,
Yes.
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that
that
when
was cool.
after launch we just kind of got on that train and just like a couple months it was just new characters and getting the alien and all sorts of all that crazy stuff with Mortal Kombat.
That's what's cool. Jones, thank you about that alien. I think it's a really cool thing because it's good DLC. A lot of DLC you kind of feel cheated out of, just like you took that out of the game. They obviously didn't take the alien out of the game. That was
Yeah, yeah.
obviously an extra idea.
Right.
And I remember when Mortal Kombat X, when people are playing through the story mode, there's a bunch of characters who pop up and you fight in the story mode. And a lot of people assumed, like, oh, they just took them out of the game. They're going to be DLC later. They never showed up as DLC. Like Rain, the purple ninja, never showed up as DLC. Don't worry about it. That wasn't DLC. You were all wrong. So I think that's kind of cool. You're right. I think they actually do DLC well. Is it just all feels like extra stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting extra stuff. That was Freddy too, right? It was Mortal Kombat X.
Freddy,
Yeah.
Jason, Leatherface, and Alien.
Wasn't Jason Mortal Kombat 9?
No, he was in this one too.
There were
Sorry,
there were a couple
I got
of like
I
crazy
got 'em mixed
robot
up.
combatants.
Jason.
Oh, yeah, there was, like,
older
six.
Jason's
robot
Friday the
characters.
13th,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Jason
so I think he
Voorhees.
was in Mortal Kombat X.
I think they fit in well into that like horror film characters and like Mortal Kombat
Sure,
super
yeah.
gory game. I think it like
Yeah.
fits together pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Tekken 7 probably has DLC characters coming. This actually transitions well into the last point I want to make, the last discussion I want to have about these two fighting games. We have to figure out which one has the better pre-order character. Now, both of these games allow you to play as one character if you pre-order the game, much like Mortal Kombat X did with Goro. I guess that's it. Really, if you pre-order the game, you'll get this character who is on the disc immediately on day one. Tekken 7, Eliza. Now, you might not know Eliza if you're a Tekken fan. She's from Tekken Revolution, the free-to-play version of Tekken. She's a vampire lady.
Cool.
Okay?
Right.
Cool.
Injustice 2 has Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Yeah.
Whoa. A little more hype for Darkseid.
If you don't know who Darkseid is, he's like he's the Thanos of the
bad
DC
guy.
universe.
Yeah, he's a big bad guy.
Though I think that Thanos was made after Darkseid by like
okay.
the same artist.
I see.
If we go into comic book history, and I think he's like kind of mocking him and stuff like that.
like Darkseid.
Yeah, okay, I'll do another one of those. Sure.
Oh, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll give him like gauntlets and gems, whatever.
So, Jones, give me the better pre-order incentive. Which one?
Darkseid for sure.
Damiani?
Darkseid.
Darkseid. I don't want
Darkseid sweeps?
from Tekken.
I would have done the vampire lady, Eliza.
I mean, she sounds cool, but I don't have any context or anything like.
And by the way, a little editorial, like that all sucks. That's all bad and dumb.
I mean, yeah, it sucks totally.
It works.
The
lesser of two
you said,
evils.
right?
Yeah, it worked for Mortal Kombat X.
No,
Remember they used to he would step in at the end of every trailer?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just so dumb. Who's next? I think is what it would say.
Yeah.
Who's next to pre-orders?
But
they were asking, really.
Well, that's to get a line, but it worked. It clearly worked for Mortal Kombat X.
definitely worked, yeah.
And so I think Tekken 7 is honestly looking a lot at that success and saying we should do that stuff.
yeah,
Because
why
Street
not?
Fighter 5 did not have a pre-order now and get this character. I think actually Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had pre-order now and you could get Shuma Gorath and Jill Valentine. So it's not like a completely new idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. But there you have it. Darkseid wins. Pre-order Injustice 2 now. It is now time for love and respect.
We didn't say pre-order now. Oh my god.
Wow. I
I was
can't.
dude, last week, because last week when Kyle first started to play him, he went, "Brr," and like I didn't hear it, and I went back and replayed that when I
Yeah.
was editing the podcast like 20 times because it was so funny.
Yeah.
The
'cause it's right up
sound
to the
followed
mic.
by you.
All right, let me try one more time.
Oh,
Okay, we still have to do love and respect at the time.
None of us can hear it.
Love and respect. Okay. All right, so
That's like just sad and depressing.
I think the mic
clearly
picked
need
it
to
up. I
replace
can't wait to hear that later.
Metal Gear Salute.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we'll replace his battery. He'll be fine. Rufus will be fine. I'll change the battery.
Rufus looking a little.
Our community sent us a lot of extra batteries. We're good.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do some surgery?
I'll do some
before
surgery on
next
Rufus.
episode?
We'll bring
Okay.
him back. Wow.
I'm dying, Kyle.
But I mean, can I just say professionally, Rufus, that I respect that you understood when to bow out. Like, my for a while in the in-laws' house, they had a soap pump that would like play "I Wish You a Merry Christmas" or something whenever you would use it. And that battery was dying for years. And every Christmas, and it would just slowly get more and more warm.
That's really funny.
And I'm like, can we just put this in the trash, please? And they're like, no, it's like a family
tradition,
heirloom.
right?
This soap dispenser. It sounds like a horror film.
All right, I want to do a love and respect that I find a little challenging. This is hard for me to talk about, to be honest with you. So
Whoa.
I'm curious how the panel will handle it.
A Link to the Past rights.
Hello from Beantown, USA. Allies, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this ongoing trend of vendors breaking street dates and selling hard copies of games before official release of those games. Is this merely brick and mortar mom and pop stores' last ditch attempts at competing with big chain stores and the ever growing digital sales market? And finally, do you think there is a solution that could benefit struggling businesses and prevent this trend from continuing, or has that ship sailed? Thank you all for your tireless efforts to entertain and delight this community. Love and respect, Eric. So, this is something I was not aware of before I moved to LA. There are game shops you can go to who will break street date, who will sell you a game before it comes out. And that is the best thing in the world.
It is to compete with the big
Just
boys.
start the
Yeah,
conversation
it's still the big boys.
by
Yeah.
saying, woohoo.
No, I mean, the feeling's the best thing in the world.
Question and answer.
Yeah.
Itself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's to combat the big boys.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the second part of the question, I'm sorry to jump ahead. I just don't know what you can do to compete, like, fairly, like some plan or something. It's like places already have online pre-orders.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to compete with, like, the Amazon, the Walmart, the GameStops? Like, no mom and pops. They're not going to get into that. Even if they go to become an Amazon vendor, they might find some little bit of success there, but that's not a way to thrive. Like, this is how they do it. And they're small enough that, you know, they sell out. They can order. They know they're gonna get a big game. They know they can break street date. They order a lot more of it. The word gets out. You go buy it. They sell out that inventory. That's a big payday for them. Happens every so often for just big releases. Big releases are every now and then. It's not every single game that's gonna work with this. So, yeah, I mean, on a personal level, I obviously do not want them to stop because, one, it's cool. One, besides, you know, being able to play a game early. For our own purposes, it's sometimes, you know, nice if it's like, the publisher does not send us a game. I'm going to be blunt here. The publisher does not send us a game.
Exactly.
And we ask for the stuff, and they just don't want to give it to us because we're either viewed as a small guy, or they, for whatever reason, which can be anywhere, like up to something as in they don't think we'll give it the score they hope we're going to give it. So they're just like, we'll send it to you later. You'll get a review copy, but you're not going to get it earlier like everyone else. This is the type of stuff, like, it's the shady underground that, like, it's the rebellion to, like, kind of even the playing field. Like, if you asked me this, like my, like, younger self before I got into this industry, when I was just, like, you know, aspiring and stuff, this is the type of crap I, like, champion immediately. Like, hell yeah, like, why doesn't E3 let everyone in and stuff? Because, like, only IGN and them get to go. Like, if you're really there to cover stuff, why do they just say no to you? Who cares if you're not, like, a big person? Oh, only they get the games early? Like, it's only, like, 5 people. You get to trust their reviews. If you're legitimately going to play through it and write an actual review and stuff and put the time and work into it, you should be allowed to do it too. Like, come on, like, it's the only way to be fair and balanced and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, like, all these, like, I know, like, I get, you know, the stink eye from Blood Wars sometimes when we have this conversation. Like, I like to push against, I personally like to push back more because I think PR and publishers have gained more control in the past few years as there's been a transition to YouTube and personality driven stuff, because they're more willing to play ball because they think they're being treated like celebrities, and they think they're like, oh, this is great, I'm getting tons of viewers, I'm getting exclusive stuff, you know, for exclusive stuff for free, and, like, it's early and it's cool. I just gotta be a little bit positive about it. I could be positive about games and stuff.
You might be getting a little too blunt here, Damiani.
What?
You're accusing YouTubers of being, like, too nice to games?
There have definitely been instances of people have been caught, like, not. That's why we have all this stuff now. You have to, like, copy provided by like, you have to be transparent and stuff. They used to, that stuff all happened. Not as much anymore, but, like, that's, like, the damage was kind of done. But PR people loved it. It's like, oh, they're willing to, they're like the enthusiast fan. I go to a fan site, they just love us because they're getting a free game and they love the series. I will definitely give them a review copy. But if this outlet, and I know so-and-so is going to be reviewing this game, they have a history of not giving it a graded score, maybe we send it to them a day before review day instead of a week or two earlier. But also publication, it's like numbers. That stuff does happen a little bit, not as widespread as people I see claim it to happen. I think the number one thing that determines if a publisher's going to send you something is just your reach and exposure.
Yeah. Right.
Like, if that's it. That is the bottom line and stuff. But, like, I've always kind of rooted for the small guy and stuff. It's like, help them out. And back to the discussion we're talking about, this is an avenue that, like, if you live in one of those nice cities, like, move out to LA, move to New York City, move to Seattle, you know, a big town, big city, you're more likely to find a store that's willing to do this if you look around, and you might be able to get, if you play ball, like, don't stream the whole damn game like a live, like, that stuff is crossing the line and crap when you want to do a full playthrough of the whole game. But if you play it and you catch wind, like, oh, everyone says the embargo's for this, what if I just post my review then and stuff? Like, you know, I'm playing within the rules, but I got the game early enough. Or even us, it's like, hey, we know what the embargo is, we just need a copy. We'll just play it and post a review there. We didn't break any rules. Like,
I think where that comes from, though, Damiani, is that sucks to know that I have to wait while other people are playing it because they just live next to one of those stores. I think while it's great for us to play that game early, it sucks more for everyone else.
Yes, it does suck, but as long as you're using it to be part of the critical discussion, the discourse about the game, rather than doing it.
How many people do you think at the store are buying it like, oh yeah, I'm getting this for critical discourse.
No.
Yeah, thank you for sending this to me weekly.
They're going home to play it by
Yeah.
themselves. They might tell it to some of their Facebook friends, but they're not going on there to like do a big ass like thousands of viewers live stream. We're going to spoil it for everyone. Like, hey guys, I got RE7 before everyone else here. Store I'm not going to name sold it to me, and I'm going to stream it in front of. Because haha, take that IGN and everyone else. I got the exclusive now. Like the people are doing it for like celebrity status because they want to be like 5-minute famous.
Yeah,
That's the type of crap that sucks.
Yeah.
And that's inevitably still going to happen with this. And I feel for people who've been waiting for like Final Fantasy 15, like that with that coming out.
Yeah.
I felt for people like, oh gosh, please go after all the streamers and shut that crap down immediately. Which they did a mostly okay job of. Some people
So they're
slipped
actually
through.
shutting people down.
They did, but some people got like the ending stream.
like-
You can't stop everything, but
I think Eric's just talking about the feeling, though. The feeling of people out there playing that game that I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And they were just lucky.
But,
There was
like-
just some store that sold it to them illegally.
But there's some on this flip side. There are other people who don't care about the release date anymore. People are like, there's so many games coming out right now in the first quarter of this year. Are you good? Like you're telling me you're gonna be able to play, unless you're Ben Moore, you're gonna be able to play Kingdom Hearts 2.8, Tales of Berseria, Gravity Rush 2, Yakuza 0, Resident Evil 7, all within a week's time.
Digimon next week.
Digimon, you're not going to be able... 7 days is not enough for that. You're not getting all those on release day. Spread them out. You don't have to play a game on release day. Like, the whole pre-order craze and stuff. Unless a game's going to be a rare special edition, who cares about pre-ordering it? Like, just... You don't have to play it, like, on release.
Jones, do you think publishers who sell these games have any obligation to make it stop? Do you think they should tell the mom and pops to, like, stop this? Should they police it?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it hurts them? Like, I don't
That's
know.
what I wonder. Like, as Damiani talks through it, it almost feels like there is no victim. I guess the victim is the people who feel cheated that other people are playing the game before they are.
That's the catch-22.
But like
if it's
from my
some-
perspective, there's so many different tiers of getting access to a game before other people do. You know, like that to me is just like one example. Like I've met people that are like friends with people that are in companies that'll get like that'll be involved in crazy betas I didn't even know existed of games. Like what? And they're just like, oh yeah, this game's cool. And they're like, oh yeah, I like to play that. I'm like, I've never seen you at an event this whole year. I've been to E3 and PAX and all this stuff, and that game wasn't there. They're just like,
No, I'm on the
oh
beta.
yeah, it's
I'm on the
my
beta.
you know my sister's married to the guy who's a dev, so I just sent me a key. I'm like, so like there's always going to be that, slow trickle out of access to a game leading up to launch, and this is just kind of the last. It's kind of like the Wild West, where it's just like it's really just between the owner and that consumer, so you don't really have that like understandable relationship or a line you can draw between one person who had access and one person who knew that person. This is just like, I got it, come in, you have cash, I give it to you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why of all of those different levels of access leading up to launch, this one feels
So, Brad,
frustrating.
the impression I'm getting from the panel is the question was like, is there a way to make this stop? And the panel kind of says like, don't let this stop.
I mean,
I don't think there's a way
the way to
yeah.
stop is for the publisher and developers to get involved, I guess, and like really crack down on it. But I don't think it's worth the trouble for them. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really hurting them. Like,
Yeah.
sucks, like getting stuff spoiled for you and everything like that. But they're still making money, which is the most important thing for them.
Go digital.
I mean,
Or go digital, yeah.
yeah.
Because here's the crazy thing about digital. On this coast, where midnight on the East Coast is 9 p.m. here,
Yeah.
on a Monday night, you
You
can
can
play a
play.
new Tuesday game at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What
Yeah.
a weird world we live in now, if you're buying digital.
Yeah, they could always do rolling locks and stuff like that, but that would.
But they don't.
They don't do
For
that.
some reason, they don't, which
Because
is
they're like,
so crazy
people
to me.
are already playing.
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
don't like care about the times
They're
and
just like,
stuff.
whatever.
About the enforcing thing about it.
Yep.
I've personally seen like a unnamed company try and enforce. They tried to track down one of these stores, a store I was at,
Oh,
and they
no.
were there trying to like catch them red-handed.
Really?
But
So they
they-
do try to police it.
It was for a very big release of a very big game.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, don't say anymore, but I'm-
15 caliber game. But
I'm
this
actually
was
curious what they did.
years ago.
Yeah.
A while ago. There were 2 representatives from that company that were there, and they were trying to ask people, could they just take a photo of the disc with the receipt, just to get
On the way out of the store?
Yeah, they were
Wow.
They were basically harassing people,
Oh my god.
and but no one did it. No one's like,
Nice.
no, screw you guys. Like,
Nice,
who
nice,
cares?
nice. Good.
But like, you imagine that 2 poor people, like at 9:00 at night or something, had to go hang out there in front of a store.
You're right, their bosses made them do that.
What
You're
company's
right.
really gonna go? I think that was an extreme circumstance because at that time that company was all about information control and like the whatever. I could see
I'm
them,
getting a clear idea of what
but
company we're
they
talking
would
about.
not. They would not do that. This company would probably not do this anymore. But I just like yeah. Brad said like they're getting the money and stuff, and there's no way to stop it because games have to ship out early to
Yeah.
make it by release date. Well, the difference is, I think, for these mom and pop shops is they circumvent one of the steps because they don't have to go to like more local distribution places or something. It just goes straight to their shop, so they don't have to like wait an extra warehouse
Right.
step or some crap. Anyway, my one thing I wanted to bring up though, Kyle, is this is only like a few day difference between release date we're talking about here in general. That like
Yeah, it's
someone
usually
like,
like two,
we're not,
two
like
or
if
3
it's
days.
months
You're
or
right.
like a
something.
weekend,
Yeah, if
yeah.
someone,
Yeah,
like,
it's never that
those
big, yeah.
weird instances where someone stole a copy from a truck or whatever, and it was like months, and they like that stuff. That's like no. But like the thing I want to bring up was like imports. Some games, come out months in advance in a different country, like in Japan, and technically those games say not for sale outside of Japan. So technically, you're not supposed to be
Yeah.
able to import and buy those games. People like play them too and stuff. Like, do you feel upset because you do not know the Japanese language that someone's out there already played Persona? Not Ben Moore.
I can say
Played Persona 5
It used
and
to
already
hurt.
understand it, and they're like, I already played it. It's a great game and stuff. I know all about it. And you're like, I get to wait 6 months to play this game.
it definitely used to hurt with Pokemon.
With Pokemon?
With Pokemon being out in Japan and knowing they all know all the Pokemon, and I'm like, oh, when is it coming out?
Dude,
here?
I used to have this with Final Fantasy all the time.
Yeah.
All
So
the time.
think
Oh,
about
you're
like
right,
that
it would
was
suck. That
months
would
and
suck.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, but if you had the ability, you saw the ability to import it, and especially now it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about people who import it just because like I just want to play it? I don't want to wait the few months.
Yeah.
That kind of forced developers to close the gap on localization. So that's a positive benefit
Yeah.
of other areas getting
Publishers
it
have
earlier.
to react.
But this is such a
Yeah.
small gap. Like, as long as the only whatever we just
As
said.
long as
it's
they're still
fine.
getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're right. They're selling hard copies of their game on launch day. I think
Yeah.
honestly they don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Anyway.
Here's a little quick one. This comes from Tom Neal. Just a wee correction / comment. Don't know if this is the right place. There is an existing franchise / feature to get excited about HD Rumble, Skyrim lockpicking. I love that comment. Just a really cool idea for HD Rumble is lockpicking. Basically nothing on the screen, but you're feeling it all in the HD
That's
Rumble.
that's cool. I do. Yeah,
I think that would be really
idea.
cool. So yeah, I just thought that was a nice short comment. This is the right place. You did put it in the right spot.
Not enough
I
for
have
me,
a-
but that's cool.
That's
I have a dream.
Find a secret.
I think we've talked about this in MMOs. I have a dream in MMOs that lockpicking is hard.
Yeah.
And that you as a player have to be good at it to do it. Mm-hmm. And so if you're a rogue in a fantasy party and like
You're valuable
fighting
'cause
a
you know how to do
boss
it.
and
Yeah.
there's like a chest in the corner that only opens up for like a second during one phase of the boss fight, and the rogue's like, "Argh," and goes over and goes to the lock, and like before I put my hands on that lock, I don't know what it is. It could be one of 50 different types of locks. Whereas like in Skyrim, it's like, oh, they built this treasure chest yesterday, whereas this treasure chest is 5,000 years old, and they have the same lock.
Yeah.
You're like,
Jones, I love that dream.
I just would love that. I'd
really
love you
cool,
cracking
yeah.
it open and be like, oh, I'm good at these. The little swing thing to the side where you feel, okay, got it. you
Yeah.
know?
Rumble and VR would be perfect for a lock picking, like a breaking a safe game.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rumble and VR altogether would be really cool. What's up, Brad?
Nothing. I was like, the move controls are on VR or Rumble, and I guess they don't.
The Move controllers?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, do they? I don't even think they do.
You tell me,
think
buddy.
so.
You got one?
Yeah, I played a whole game. I can't even remember if it rumbles or not. I'm pretty sure they don't rumble. Okay, here's another tricky one. I like this. It's a long one, and this will be probably our last one.
All right.
Hey, Kyle, Brandon, and the rest of the panel. Great to be watching another podcast, and I hope you're all doing well. Earlier this week, AG Anuma confirmed to IGN Portugal. Was it my pronunciation?
No, I know where you're
No, he
I
knows
know
where you're going
the
with this.
ocean.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I do too.
That Breath of the Wild would not have any dual audio support. The quote I pulled from Anuma, courtesy of Nintendo Insider, reads as follows. In the case of Nintendo Switch, if you change the language of the system, you can change the game to Japanese, but that will change everything to Japanese. Unfortunately, it is not possible to play with English text and Japanese voices, for example. I got into a heated discussion with some friends over the lack of dual audio support in Breath of the Wild. From the most recent Switch event trailer, I found myself most emotionally touched by the performances of the Japanese cast. So, hearing that, I'll have to play with an English dub that I have so far found to be astoundingly resoundingly lackluster. I've let my overall hype for the title diminish considerably. How frustrated am I to be over this? I'm sorry. How frustrated am I allowed to be over this? Obviously, Nintendo doesn't have to do anything in the way of adding this support, but I can't help but be irritated knowing that the cartridge I'll be getting for Breath of the Wild will have the Japanese voice track on it, but won't allow me to pair it with the Japanese subtitles. I've never felt the desire to hack a system of my own before, but if a crack for the Switch would allow me to play Breath of the Wild in a way Nintendo is blocking me off from, I honestly think I'd jump on it in a heartbeat. As always, love and respect. Richard Ronaldus91, Eiley. Okay, so that's a real thing. Most of the time when there's not dual audio, I'd say, well, they just can't fit it all on the disc.
Yeah.
There's absolutely dual audio on this thing, apparently.
I don't know why Nintendo's doing that. It feels so behind the times.
Right.
To not have dual audio.
Have they been in this situation before where
No.
there's a English and a Japanese track in a Zelda game?
No.
Like I know
No.
every now and then you'll hear a word here and
Jones,
there.
we've never had voice acting in a Zelda game.
Well, we have
We've had, like, little
words have been
phrases or
spoken.
Oh,
words,
sure.
but not
But those have been,
expressions
those
and
have been
stuff.
universal. They don't even
So I'm
change
assuming,
those.
like
Yeah.
in Wind Waker, the guy that says sploosh. Does he say sploosh in Japanese?
He
Or is it
does.
the same. That's the same actor.
He does,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, this would just be maybe don't get super pissed because like Nintendo. Is this something Nintendo should have known, Damiani? This
Yes.
is
Get
this is like
mad.
the first
I think
time
they
they've
should
done
have
it.
known
Get
this.
mad.
Yeah.
Make them patch it. Get mad about this.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think about the Fire Emblem games, especially the more recent ones. Oh, I didn't play. We said I didn't play Fates of Consequence. So I'm trying to remember even Awakening had dual audio on it because it definitely has voice work in it.
But I think it's more like the just like the high at the beginning of a sentence. You know what I mean? Like oops, and then you read a whole sentence.
I mean,
This is voice acting.
no, I know.
This is
Metroid's
Zelda's.
had full voice acting, but I don't think it had a Japanese option either. Especially Other M. That would have been. I'm not sure. I
But
don't
we're in this
remember.
situation with Breath of the Wild where we see a distinct difference
So,
between the two
there's
performances in
things.
English and
There's
Japanese.
Two things. Yes, on principle I agree. They should offer multiple language support.
Yeah.
Especially if they've already done the work for it.
It's on the cart, man.
Yeah, like it's on the cartridge. Even if they couldn't fit it on, just make a DLC option. Like, hey, not paid DLC, but
Yeah.
like, hey, we couldn't fit it on the cart, so here's like day one. Go to the shop or whatever. Go to downloadable content and just pick or go to we'll patch it in. If you want to download the patch, we'll offer in Japanese, audio with English subtitles. Now, I'm for that, and I think whenever possible, you should give that. And most every game now, almost every Japanese RPG that I've played in recent memory does that. That people want that. The two things I can see, the one argument that the company usually uses, and the one thing I can see is an issue with this. The first one is the argument the company usually uses. It's what Square Enix used to say before they caved in and finally started offering dual audio. Because Final Fantasy 13 did not offer dual language support. Excuse me. And that was at a time when a lot of people wanted that and expected that out of the games. And I remember doing a lot of the interviews. They just said, like, we just didn't. There's really demand for this. Western audiences want
Yeah.
it. They didn't get it.
Right. I wouldn't get it either. I guess
But
that
their
makes sense.
argument in the end, though, especially like for Kingdom Hearts games, was that we spent so much money on this voice cast. Look at this talent we got. Look at all these big Disney voice actors we got.
We got the guy from Seventh Heaven.
We spent this much money.
Haley
We-
Joel Osment is in here.
yeah, we got this great cast in here and stuff, and had them do all this recording work. We want you to see that work. Like, we want you to experience that and stuff. We spent the money, we put the effort into it. You need to see it. Like, this is like our artistic vision. But then it's like, wait, you have a Japanese version with the Japanese
Right.
voice cast. So they used to say like, no, we've spent the money localizing this into the production. You're gonna see it like that. And
Yeah.
then they're like, wait a second, that doesn't fly.
And here's what I think is a huge thing. When they debuted this trailer, when they debuted the voice acting, really, like we've heard voice acting in clips and things like that, but I mean, this was really the story debut, I feel like, of the cutscene debut, we'll say,
Right.
of the voice acting. It was in Japanese.
With English subtitles.
It was in
the
Japanese
Japanese
with
event.
English subtitles. Yeah, Jones, exactly.
They were selling a game that does not
It was
exist.
Here's
a
the
major
thing.
press conference.
Most of the audience of that video, of that press conference, is not going to play that game in Japanese.
Right.
They won't let us. And so it's so weird to broadcast this huge audience, this huge global audience, with the version that most people won't ever play.
13 did the same thing with all its trailers in Japanese. Had English subtitles, like they existed, just didn't give you that option. It's because that is a marketing event that's trying to like advertise the game.
Yeah.
And they know it's an international audience, so they're doing it. But the fact is, and that takes less work to just localize, into English, that amount of text just for the trailer compared to the whole game.
I get that.
Here's the other part I wanted to bring up, and I don't like this argument, but I'm seeing some people try and defend Nintendo this way, that this is going to be the first Zelda game with voice acting. This is their first foray. Let's make sure they get it right before, let them focus on what they need to get the voice acting like good and right, so that it's a good game. If they really don't have the time to but it's done. Like people,
it's done.
People ignore the argument. It's done.
It's
but
done.
They make this like weird, argument that just let them do what they want to do. It's their first attempt into it. Like, where were all you people when Final Fantasy X came out? It was the first full voice work in Final Fantasy games. Like, no one clamored for Japanese subtitles in that one when it came out.
PS2 though. That was so long ago.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's a different time,
here you
for sure.
go. It's a different time and place, but everyone's like, Nintendo's behind the times, so give them a chance. The thing is, and then the other small thing is, people are like, the amount of voice work you hear in the trailer may not be representative of the final game, because remember when they showed off the E3 trailer, had open your eyes, a little bit of dialogue.
Yeah.
Then you play the game, the beginning was narrated, nothing else in that demo had any voice work whatsoever.
Right, so after E3, I was left with the impression there wouldn't be a lot of voice
Yeah,
acting.
I was like,
in Nintendo
oh,
too.
it's going to be special instances. But I don't buy that anymore, even after this trailer especially. Why would they put so much voice work into this trailer if there wasn't going to be that much voice work in the game? That's super misleading.
Yeah.
If there's only a few
right.
cutscenes with dialogue, fans are going to rage. They're going to be like, well, thanks, Nintendo. Where's all the voice work? They're hyped.
I think it's going to be a lot. I mean, the Deku Tree is talking.
They are
man.
hyped. Fans are hyped on that. This is the first Zelda of tons of voice work.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. Otherwise, they better have known what they were doing. So, at this point, bottom line, it's not too late to fix this. I don't think it's probably too late for them to put it on the cartridge, supposedly. I don't know. But it's not too late for them to add it as a patch. They can still make this right. Yeah. And so they've done the work. Yeah. Just use the English subtitles you're going to use.
Yeah.
I know.
Dude, they're going to do an amiibo for it, all right? You're going to put your amiibo down and get Japanese voice.
No.
Japanese
A little
amiibo.
dictionary amiibo or something?
It's going to be like, Tingle amiibo.
no.
Master of languages.
This is somewhat important to know.
What is important to know?
Companies that do localization, whether it's Nintendo internally, if they hired an outside company to do it, they are very picky about quality, and sometimes the English subtitles for the English dub, that's not what's being said in the Japanese. There's the literal translation of Japanese, there's the localized subtitle version, and then there's the English dub. There are actually films you can buy, Japanese anime films, especially Ghibli stuff, that the English dub is not the same as the English sub. The subtitles will literally say different things than what the characters are saying, because it's a quote-unquote more faithful translation to the Japanese version, but it doesn't flow as well in conversational text.
Yeah.
So simply taking the English subtitles for the English dub as is and throw it on the Japanese, some translators find that offensive. They don't like that.
All right, Damiani.
So
you made a case for
that
it.
is the only argument I would buy, but no one is putting that forth from the developer end. That's their
That's
reason.
good though. I like
But I'll
that.
put an argument out there that just Japan in general has been very frustrating with audio across the board.
Yeah.
The fact that no Final Fantasy game has ever come out, and correct me if I'm wrong, where you could do anything with the audio, where you could
Final
make
Fantasy
speech
15.
louder or anything. Or
15 was
or
the first.
15 you can?
Yeah.
And I would imagine
14,
11.
sorry, 14.
11. I think 11 you could do it as well.
Yeah.
But certainly not with
I see what you're saying.
the main Roman numeral things and the Kingdom Hearts games, and they're always like, no, we wrote this music, listen to it. And it's like, come on, playing this game for 60 hours, I've heard the battle theme, come on.
I feel like we got over that 5 years ago. Though.
But we have Steep, which you can turn off copyright music if you're streaming and you don't want your stream to get banned.
that's
That's awesome. It's like,
Steep got mentioned.
so but it's cool. It's just very forward thinking. There's no reason not to do that stuff.
Even Tales games do it. And it used to be they were the ones that were usually called out the most, yo, your audience, this is an anime game, come on, where is it? Now it's English or Japanese, go ahead.
I think that's cool. And before we move on, I do want to say I actually think the English voice actor for Zelda is good.
Me too.
I don't think she's bad.
I was pleased from what I heard.
And I understand it's a completely different take on the crying. I actually think it's a good performance. I don't want to trash on it. I like it. Can I do one more? Can we do this?
One
one's
more,
not
dude.
even a question.
Let's do one
This
more.
is just some positivity that I like.
Excellent.
Sure.
Okay, this comes from Daniel Warren.
Hey, Daniel.
Just a comment this week, but feel free to have the panel share their thoughts. I recently played through the Plague Knight DLC of Shovel Knight and wanted to just take a minute to give some well-deserved love and respect to Yacht Club Games. Shovel Knight itself was a 10, but for them to actually be delivering on their Kickstarter promises and releasing all this amazing free content is something rare and wonderful in the gaming world. More than just new playable skins, they are designing entirely new campaigns and stories with new music and characters to go with them. With the Spectre Knight DLC on the way, I can't wait to see what they come up with next. And how crazy is it that Nintendo gave Shovel Knight an amiibo? Thanks, Yacht Club, and here's hoping more developers learn from your model going forward. Love and respect. Thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, they're doing more stuff because the people paid for it.
I've seen people bail on the stuff that people
You're right.
paid
That's
for.
true. Yacht Club has been very good about it.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight rules, and everyone needs to play that if you're into old school, especially like Mega Man games or something like that.
Yeah.
Hell of a game. Love it.
It's like an adventure-style Mega Man game.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I love it.
I think there are definitely games I've played where I thought I was finished and they kind of restructured the story in even like a stupid way where it's like, oh, you're going back through again, kind of, and meeting new people again, I guess, and like even something very bare bones like that will incentivize me to go back through and I'll appreciate it. It's like, yeah, it's like you worked so hard to come up with the music and the characters in this world. Like, why wouldn't you want to just tweak it or add a little, side thing or
Works
some
for
kind
me.
of some kind of version of New Game Plus or something like.
I used to feel bad for Yacht Club because they were obligated to make these things. That their stretch goal or their stretch goals were maybe too successful. Because that Kickstarter ended almost 3 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But they have said this year they're working on their next game.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So yeah, as we wait for what is this one? Spectre Knight? Yep.
Spectre Knight.
Yeah, as we
Yeah,
wait for
co-op's
Spectre Knight to
coming
happen. Yeah, and co-op is
On
coming too.
Switch.
On Switch. Wait, isn't Spectre Knight debuting on Switch? How crazy is that?
I don't know, actually. It's a good question.
I think they announced that as well.
So it'll be out first on that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Guess
Okay.
what version I'm buying?
I'll buy it too.
I'm buying that Switch
I'll
version.
buy it for a third time.
Let's do it. I got to see that campaign. So that was cool. Cool. Oh man.
Yeah, sweet.
I get so many good comments. We got an update from Marius. The father was playing Dark Souls and has a hard time because you can't pause.
Dude, what? I didn't know
Yeah.
about this guy. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
I didn't know about this.
And so I think he said he worked out something with his daughter where he it just depends on which games he plays. When she's around, he plays pausable games.
That's the right idea to do.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you can't always pause. Okay, and so finally it's time for bets. Digimon World Next Order releases next Tuesday. Gotta promote that game. I'm so pumped. At this point next week, how many views will the launch trailer have on the official Bandai Namco YouTube channel? It is worth stating that at this point the launch trailer has not been posted.
Yeah.
We don't even know if they will post one. It is very likely because they post one for everything, but it might not happen. Jones, at this point next week, how many views on that thing?
I don't know. I went all over the place.
Sure.
I finally settled on 2,000.
Okay.
Oh,
It'll be
damn.
small.
Damiani, how many views?
45,000.
Nice. Brad?
Feels bad, man. 50,000.
Ooh, you guys are pretty close to each other. And I have 31,270. Let me lock that in.
There's a lot of Digimon fans out there. They're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, so if it's huge,
You're
if
going to
it's
watch it at least 3 times.
if it's 100K, I don't like launch trailers. Those are the worst. Launch
won't be able to
trailers show
resist.
too much.
Very
You won't-
spoilery.
When you
Yeah.
see that Agumon, you're going to be like, whoo-hoo, you're going to click that video.
Brad,
Most of the
it was
last-
almost how many times will I see the word Agumon in all the reviews, but I realized I do that too much. Yeah, I don't know. I if it's 0, if there isn't one, we get that. But if
Yeah.
it's a huge hit,
I was scared to go high.
yeah. Okay, last week's bet was about Gravity Rush 2, which released last Friday.
Nice, Sue.
At this point, we get to do this one live. At this point, what will the trophy percentage be for Cat's Daily Routine? Complete 20 side missions.
Oh.
So, Jones, you bet 33%. Ben bet 16.6%. Blood bet 63%.
Oh, my God.
And I bet 20%. By the way, 63% is like,
Way too high.
that's normally
very
like,
high.
when a game has a trophy for like finish the tutorial, it's like 63%.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's
that's not that bad.
optimistic.
It's not that bad.
Yeah,
but yeah.
60 is like the highest you ever see on
His
something.
thinking was that the game just has a lot of side missions, so he's like, yeah, people love those.
So how
right?
much I played, there's a 20, 40, and I believe 80 is the final one, or all
It
of
just
them.
says do all of them, so I don't know. if
I
that
only
was-
got to the 41 after
Yeah.
playing 20-something hours.
Okay, here we go. Live update. Completed 20 side missions. The percentage is
Ben probably won.
16.9%. Ben was 0.3 off.
He's a wizard.
Wow.
He's a wizard.
Oh, man.
Yeah. On it.
Wonder if he had some insight looking at my trophy list or something.
Oh, dude, the dirty play.
Oh, you can't.
I mean,
you
he
can't
had
see.
it-
No, you can't see trophy list till the game goes live.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's been increasing dramatically
Yeah.
since last
Launch.
week.
Like,
yeah.
I couldn't like sync my trophy. Like any game I get early, you can't sync trophies till they put them live on release day.
So Damiani, you're in the Ben seat.
Nice.
Score now is Purple Platypie 1. Damiani, I'm going
What's
to
the
need you to
noise?
participate in that.
What is the noise?
There we go. Here, let's do it together.
Ready?
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Feel the power.
I was waiting to participate, Kyle.
Is that everybody's on board for it? Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah.
Speaking of being on board, the platypi are on the board now.
Oh, you're right. They're on the board. That's your first point. Yep. And Red Eagles 2. Jones, we still have the poison thumb if you ever want to use it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now it is time for Patreon plugs. Before we hand the microphone over to Damiani, we got to talk about what Easy Allies is. Because every
Yep.
podcast,
Plug
I think,
that
is somebody's
Patreon.
first podcast. Every one we do
smart idea.
is somebody's first one.
Welcome,
Welcome. We're Easy Allies.
dude or dudette who's been hanging this whole time.
Yeah, thank you. We are a group of people who make videos about video games. We do live streams. We do reviews, previews, weird videos about nothing. We do bets. We do strange things. The way that we do those things is through Patreon, which, I mean, kind of like how we talked about Banner Saga and Kickstarter. We are crowd supported through a monthly thing on Patreon. So check out patreon.com/easyallies to see how that works, how we are supported, how we keep doing this, and what we can do for you. And check out easyallies.com to see more of our videos, and twitch.tv/easyallies to see some of our streams. Jones, is that pretty much it?
If you want this podcast next week, 2 days earlier than you heard it the first time, $5 at patreon.com. We'll do that.
Right. You get to hear the podcast early and submit questions and comments for love and respect.
$5 a month for 4 podcasts. So that's like $1.25 for early access to each podcast episode.
Whoa. Way to divide that.
$1.25.
Look at that
Business
salesman.
Soon to be 5 podcasts.
Damiani, you get the right and responsibility. Wait, I'm sorry. Something was said. Brad, do you get early access to the anime podcast?
Maybe. I gotta talk about that actually.
Just making up stuff for now.
Hey, you might.
Sure.
There will be an incentive though. If you're a $1 patron for the podcast,
Whoa.
you will get to. Should I just plug it on here?
Let's plug it, dude.
So,
Oh my.
pretty much, we're gonna have a list of things we want to cover,
Yep.
like things me and Ben want to cover, and we're gonna let people vote on which one they want to see first
Whoa.
out of the list.
Nice
So
incentive.
for $1,
$1. Just $1.
you get a cup of Jones, and you get to vote.
Nice. Damiani, you get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you may like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with or want to reiterate. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a big burden.
Let's do your Twitter handle first. It's the easiest one.
First step, baby.
Yeah.
At MB Damiani.
Sure.
Follow me on Twitter. I get to promote a video. Man,
Yeah, it's been a while since you've done a game sleuth.
I was waiting for this guy to call. Well, I could point to one of my reviews that I could say Gravity Rush 2 review, but that was a week ago.
Yep.
I don't think Berseria is going to be done by the time this goes up tomorrow. Otherwise, I would promote that one.
But he already has. You see how he did that? He already promoted
Oh,
both
he's
of
being
those videos,
sneaky.
so.
I know what he's doing here.
Dirty Damiani.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
It was sure nice to plug a Kyle video. Just trolling. Actually, I'm gonna give a shout out to man Brad over here.
Oh, that's me.
Because I want you guys to go check out his Kingdom Hearts 2.8 review. Because
Review number 2 from Brad,
This is
right?
review number 2.
Number
3.
three, baby.
What was number 2?
I am Setsuna.
Yeah.
Oh, duh.
Setsuna.
Right.
Yep.
Sorry.
Because Brad's been doing more reviews, but also we need more people to be into Kingdom Hearts, and it's a good glimpse for part of the game, the fragmentary passage part, about what you might be seeing in Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's a good thing to check out. Good review, good preview of what's to come with the future of Kingdom Hearts.
You should be excited.
Yeah, you should be excited.
Wait, have you played it already?
No, my copy should have arrived either I think today. It's scheduled to arrive on
But
Wednesday.
you've played it before, like E3.
Oh, I played it at E3.
Yeah.
But like I played like the. Remember they showed like the graphic differences. They
Yeah.
kept improving the models. I haven't played the most like anything in the recent. So
they've improved the models since E3.
yeah, I'm talking about like E3. Yeah, E3 2016.
Yeah.
was the one I played it.
yeah.
They improved it at each event apparently.
Cool.
Ever since then.
I remember it wasn't really the models I was complaining about. Like the lighting seemed weird on those characters at E3.
Keep playing it.
Okay,
Just
cool.
play it, buddy.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, so the reason I was like thinking of like a video because I was also thinking about I'm just gonna do it now. Giving a shout out to nice guy Steven for doing the fan art for me.
Whoa.
Just did this nice commission. I did it on the stream, but I also want to give a shout out here because I was like, hey, I want someone to draw me Korra fan art, but with like this Final Fantasy 14 attire that I wear and stuff. Like I really like this outfit. And like I made my character try and look like his core as much as possible, but it's in-game graphics, you know, it's not exact. So I was like, man, I want to see her in this outfit. This looks really nice. This is a nice outfit. They were so nice and just like did it. Like
Nice.
just like, do you like this? I'm like, wow. Like thank you so much.
If I'm a listener, where can I go to see it? Where do I even?
Well, I retweeted it. Go to my Twitter handle. I
Is it
retweeted
pinned?
it. What?
Is it pinned? Is that like your pinned tweet?
It should be my top tweet right
Okay.
now. I haven't
All right.
tweeted
Pin
anything
it.
since that.
Pin it.
I'll pin it. Yeah, I should pin it. And yeah, it has. Go hit him up if you like his work and stuff.
Nice.
Like he
Sweet.
does commissions and stuff, but very nice. Just to like, here you go. I was like, oh, so cool.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. I didn't know if
That's-
that violated the etiquette of like, you know, promoting something or
I feel like that's just a
shout-outs
nice thing to
something.
do.
The problem is, Damiani, that counts as your last word or something you want to reiterate.
Okay, that's fine. I
Yeah,
don't really have anything
we'll
else
use it to take that
reiterate.
spot. Great.
I
That's
never-
really nice of you to use that for your last word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're
pretty
not
nice. I guess.
yelling about the Senate and everything, cussing like I am.
Look at this.
Oh no, it levels up to level 3 next week.
Yeah, held on to that, but I won't be on next week probably. So
Right. That's the point.
I just want this.
You're supposed to
This is gonna
use
be my
it.
final word. I want this one day with the ultimate power on it. I'm never gonna use this till
You're
I
never
get
gonna get it. That's the
ultimate
whole point.
This is like Limit Break 2 with Final Fantasy 14. Like, pfft,
That's why you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to use it.
we got enough DPS to
They gotta
clear this
kill the
crap.
boss.
I don't need this extra benefit. I want like the giant LB3.
All right.
So, I gotta do a sign off thing.
Trademark sign off.
I never really
The
think
sign
of
off
this stuff.
Damiani always uses when he signs off.
I don't
for,
always have one. I always do a nice one. I was thinking about joking and doing Breath of the Wild ain't gonna look as good as this. Because it doesn't work on a podcast. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Ebb Software, iKeyless, Mango, Michael Kozachenko, Simon Anderson, Sweet Justice, Nick, Jesse Fish, Shayla Tobin, Luke Arnold, Bradley Spees, Caleb Aranda, Richard Smuts, Professor Metal Gear, David Peterson, Walker Hope, Osama Alarbi, Ken Lair, John Tyson, Zachary Wingate, Beaten Down Brian, Leaf Johnson, Jared Reif, Corey Jackson, Matthew Pauling, 44 Stars, Gino A. Leet, Silent Consonant, Yasser Al-Husseini, Jason A. Sackle, Candy Coated Thorns, G. Levin, Charles Anthony Iapicino, Sigma, Neil Genero, G. Ken, Thomas Rogers, Tim O'Keefe, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Nicholas Owens, Jean-Philippe Legacy, Julie Dugdale, Robert Stoffel, Colt Doss, Paul Nalsund, Jason Joint, Andrew Stoke, Jay Shee, Wobess, Marcel Giru 17 Froelich, Yong Lee, Paul Judge, Mark Bianchin, Phoenix Doss, Lee Young, Kongan Burke, Congolator, Andrew Kidd, Peter Davis, Skolopen, Clayton Ingram, Greg Kettering, Rick Argomenes, Brad Lohman, Gary Fair, Cheryl Stopgert Paracchio, Matthias Hasselvig Jensen, Ian Santa Anna, Tim Strothman, Andrew Bailey, Caleb Crawford, Blue Suitor, Leanna Alexandru, Todd Yurkovic, Resev, Uzman Khan, Jordan Phillips, Yobuts, Michael Bisegli, Patrick Chong, Blue Water Blue Sky, Wesley Welcomer, Monica, Chum Nun, Isabella Crane, Sergio Ruben Hernandez Gallegos, Stephen Last, Ahmad Naki, The Banana Forklift Killer, Kaylee Murdoch, Joaquin Morovuo, Gustav Strombaum, Kelvin Martanto, Marcel Markov, Mark J. Betters II, Nefertiti Jenkins, Joel Olson, David Wen, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Christine E. Baldwin, Marius Smith, Turbo Girl, Catherine Lai, Tralium, Gary James, Neil Bruce, Rory McGuire, Ian Bradburn, Juan Yobo, Robert Crouch, Michael Schreiber, Sven von Brand, Bai Menace, Fabian Schuster, Mikhail Anyel, Ulf himself, Burwa Hama Mahmud, Lars Grains, Isun Chor, Waleed WSF 88, Jared Putman, Forrest Polk, Mike Hook 1, Thomas Einsporn, Jamie Jackman, Preston Swaggerty Haggerty, Mauricio Fuentes, Xylo Wolfbane, Quickscares.com, Freaker, Alexander Schiller, Neil Brophy, Boris Scherl, Captain Fancy Pants, Yoon Kim, Michael Eaton, Zinterax, Modren, Stephen Cohen, Connor Rosine, Paul Bishop, Jimmy Milson, Carl Williams, Trey Whetstone, Adam Damon, Tony Knox, Matt McCarthy, Eric Crone, Sean Mackey, Leroy Anderson, Reed Johnson, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Eric C., Adam Scherenbrock, Kurzistav Rogowski, Themo Preuss, Allison Burt, Jenny Markula, Bjornar Haraldsvik, Alfredo Gonzalez, David Flynn, Sean De Almeida, Zach Bardsley, Gibbo, Chris Sleep, Dan Sebring, Mokiki, Jacob Whittington, Charlie, Serial Gamer, Mike and Tasha Garcia, Michael Favacci, Eric Maynard, George Archibald, Cartridge Brothers, Dennis Franklin, Renee Klutk, Gon Sassaline, Leon Keys, Manx64, Darren Banish, Todd Paxton, Taggart McStone, Fast Mower, Faraz Rizvi, Dakota Hayes, Zoostick, Don Turner, Luke Mivshek, Otto Mustonen, Christopher Ratliff, Sean McGowan, Stephen Blomkamp, Kyle Bradford, Miles Walden, Edison S. Prada Jr., Ian Barker, Alexandri Breveglieri, Corbin Bread, Zach Latham, Carlos Lopez, Marty Savage, Travis Ing, Bryce Ray Parker, Tuttle, Raymond Doden, Stuart Siddle, William Kirk, Cody Harden, G. Sif, Connor Ross, Matt Gunther, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Q8 Phoenix, Ryan E. Garcia, Eric Gustafson, Refill, Sebastian Trier, Bonnie and Jason Connor, Hanny Ribiero, Jeffrey Daniel Lasley, Stephen Walther, Kevin Campisano, Carlos Zuniga, Ryan Cohen, Adam the Welshman Mullaney, Link 666 Goron, Terrence Ireland, Simon Gauthier, Rokiote, Momo Rashid, ML Legend, Lance Mink, Matthias Larson, Sean Clinton, Justin Wenderoth, Grace, Calgareth, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Cameron Hendry, Andrew Buchter, Rebecca Woods, Barry, Mizek, Andrew Wanser, Gon Kef, Adam Henry, Beautiful Kai, Hudson Bilbrey, Christ Abramian, Mac Jam, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Durgesh Patel, Sarah, Philip Stadler, Benny Samuelson, Trolls Rasmussen, Daniel Wong, Darius Chambers, Jameson Anderson, Vincent Foliat, John Mayer, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Jordan Eves, Tetra Ninja, Colby Keith, Junya Motomura, Jake Musser, Eric Santoy, Ya Boy Benny B, Sebastian K, Ancient Picnic, Mons Anderson, Elvin Skokheim, Jai Aldair, Kevin DeBolt, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Pixel Critics, Shahir Khan, Matt Ferguson, Michael Tennick, Brian Pont, Hoogie Boogie, Peyton Wiederspan, Christopher Jan Wong McKigan, Michelle Nubb, Kirk, Sandra and Richard Acero, Robert Marquardt, Carlos Gonzalez, Joe Burns, David Tran, Monica Exavaria, Alan Wen, Adam Barker, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Niels Frederick Elbol, Sun Pham, Alex Monaco, Fumbles, Nuno Amaral, Twisted Heart, David Boyarsky, Rajiv Maharaj, Ciara Wheeler, Sean McKing, Dirtbag Daryl, KBM 13, Henry Clark, Daggeth, Brennan Prehoric, Eric Jackson, Christopher Santis, Tarek Leham, Christian Hundorf, Andreas Koter, Extravaganza, Gail Gutierrez, Jason Shields, Rickster EXE, Julio Ruiz, Wow That Was Epic, Andy H., Lars Berger, Spry Farron, James Kennedy, Trey Blissett, David Cosal, Remy Loisel, Christopher Dixon, Peter Shoemaker, Irvin De La Torre, Cyberboa, Azazel Valkyrie, Michael Esme, Garrett Fox, Christopher Foss, Aaron Schlegel, Helping Leon, Self-Confessed Cynic, Roman Udolph, Angel Blood Publishing LLC, V. Kira Ray, Tristan Howard, Hugo Calm, Jeremiah Snowden, Dinesh Patel, Michael Agent, Materia Addict, Robert I, Michael Clegg, Gonzalo Sands, Mattis Dojic, Elizabeth, Shannon Gates, Alex Lavanier, Justin Wren, Age Dolls, Adam, Robert Ori Einerson, Phoenix Rouge, Christopher Donnelly, Michael Rebelato, Jesper Lawson, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Andrew Amos, Fat Shadow, Struggler, Grunt Elite, Tense George, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Lucas Smith, Ian Anderson, Anthony Cabrera, Tongue Surgery, C.S. Lewis, Hasney, Dave Red, Thomas Wigington Jr., Trenton Robeson, The Hashtagonist, Kim Vunk Vonderleith Haagensen Petersen, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Evan Anderson, Ali Khan Sunger, Dale A. Brohl, Rerun, Elliot Lovig, James Blair, Arkham Fantasy, Luis Ibarra, Dale Sun, Paul Derwanko, Philip Higdon, John Ivar Carlson, Spencer Stevens, Christopher Wells, Dan Wen, Impact 93, Siahi Jabbar, Juan, Elliot Moscow, Jonas, Ivan Ponce, John Prey, Sean Essen, Sebastian Urban, Marco Zanone, Alec Church.